All right, all right. How's everybody doing today? Joseph Sunderman here, Creative Tech. You can't see me. Let's go ahead and fix that. Woo. Let there be lights, cameras, action. Again, Joseph Sunderman here, Creative Tech. Not the Creative Tech, just another Creative Tech, just like the rest of you. Because if you're watching this, you too are probably a Creative Tech, living in a world, building things, making things, loving technology, keeping up the best you can. You know your initiatives, you know your anchors, you're going for it, and you're solving objectives and matters in ways like never before. The way you approach work, all of it, we're rock stars. Creative Techs, that's what we do. All right, this is the 21st, is that right? This is either the 21st or 22nd. Let me verify that. Again, I am running late. I just got back from a meeting. I showed up on site this morning at 9 a.m. Planned on leaving by between 11 and 12 to be here in time to prepare for the show. I looked down at my watch in the middle of that meeting, and it's 12:30. And I'm still in the middle of building a module before I leave to help them finish what they're doing. And we'll talk about them. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff today on sessions. Today's focus: expectations. Setting expectations, why they're important, how they help the Creative Tech, and what you need to know and take away from this whole episode, and with expectations and how to use expectations to communicate properly and effectively, and just to make shit happen. Just like what I have going on right now, building the Creative Tech, Ikora, Rigid 6 Productions, all the moving pieces with the 40 plus clients that we support, taking on initiatives, being an ambassador for multiple things that I'm very passionate about. How do you set expectations with everybody? How do you keep all that going without being a sane person where I can take a breath? And at 6 o'clock at night, I can say, you know what? I'm going to go enjoy time with my family. Or even better yet, 11 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to go spend time with my family. I can finish this up later. How do you keep so cool, Joe, throughout all that craziness? You may be asking yourself. Well, first of all, I go by Joseph now. Joe was the old me. I'm kidding. I don't care what you call me, but just don't call me asshole or Joey. Thank you. Give me a second. Like I said, I'm running behind, and getting here on time for all of you is paramount. And even if there was one person watching right now, I'm doing this because I'm giving you the value because I know how important what I'm doing today is. And by whether somebody's watching or not, giving this my all, it's a testament to myself of what I'm building and what I'm doing. And to look at the delta from when I first started, to truly show a delta from when I first started until present day. How can I do that in a way, set expectations with everybody that says, hey, I'm doing this, and this is why. And when I see it, no viewers, and them still expect that it's a valuable thing. Having clear structure and articulating it, all those things matter. My Lord. I did not clean up the studio at all. My bad. I got stuff everywhere. It looks like a hot mess in here because it is a hot mess in here. All right. We're going to get to topics and all kinds of... Holy shit. Shit's plugged into shit. We'll just set it on the floor out of the frame. That way you guys know it's there. Okay. Yeah, I think we look pretty good here. Everything looks good. Everything looks clean. Got a mess on my desk. Messes everywhere. I want my setup to be impeccable because, yeah, why not? Now, we can get into it. Now I feel like we have our shit together. So, Today's episode, Creative Tech. Boop, 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 boop. So for those of you that don't know what Sessions is, it's essentially our training platform that we have at Icora. We know managing over 700 users and, all of them, aligning them with their tech stacks and helping them get the best identity, both internally and externally as possible. You have to train everybody and align everybody. And we use sessions as a way to align everybody. We have what we call an admin session where we get with the admin team, the leadership team of the effort, the endeavor, the venture, the enterprise, whatever it is. It could be just a team. And we establish policies and governance that's important for the, whatever workflows or improving workflows. And once we have those improvements down with the admin team and we've vetted those improvements out and we're ready to take it to the team and have them adopt those improvements, we have what's called a team session where we present to them the new workflows and policies or whatever it may be. And when we present it to them a way where you have to document and update your SOPs, all your documentation for your company. So what we like to do is establish that documentation on what we call a team site, a SharePoint site. That way, as long as only the admin teams are changing it and you have a process for updating pages within the site, which Sessions gives them that structure. So that way every quarter we have up to 3 topics. That's what Sessions is. We have a focus with 3 topics, up to 3 topics, up to 3 workflows, policies, whatever to be improved. And we give a presentation, show everybody out where it is on the team site so they can refer to that. So that way after the training session's over, they have resources, something tangible to look at to help them with whatever we're getting them to adopt. They can sign off on it as well. And now your company just adopted new policies and workflows throughout the process of just ongoing objectives and matters, and just business is a moving target. You're constantly doing things. So what we do here with the Creative Tech is we're focused on the individual, not companies. We have companies that are not embracing the whole Sessions and the master tech plan at a managed level. They like being at reactive or proactive, and they don't want managed, but they still want us to train them. And how can we do that? Well, we do what's called ad hoc sessions where, we had a client just the other week wanted to get Teams Premium because they see everybody else having meetings with transcription and all this stuff. And they're like, how can we have that? Well, don't go get Otter or whatever. I mean, if you're on Google and this and that, yeah, you have a fragmented tech stack all day long. But if you are on Microsoft 365, why not just use, Teams Premium? And what we did is we just got with the admin team, said, hey, here's what it is. These are the ways we see you guys. And here's how we would govern it. And here's how we would train everybody on it. And here's the scope of what we think you guys should use it for. But here's what it's capable of. And they might be like, hey, we want that extra thing that might help us with timekeeping or whatever it may be. But we get that figured out in that session. We tried to keep it realistic. We have new users onboarding this new system. Is it just the meeting thing right now? Can we add the thing to help with timekeeping in the next quarter session, or have another ad hoc session if it needs done right away? You can innovate when you have structure. So the way I'm disrupting things, I'm working with a company called Disrupt Now right now. And I'm enjoying their lexicon, their dialect, and how they say things and do things. But there's clearly there's a need for structure. So anyway, how can you disrupt things? Well, the way we're disrupting things is the way you approach work. The meeting I went into today, I'm going to use it for part of this conversation and expectations. The meeting I was in today is going to be very useful for expectation setting, and I'm excited to get into it. But before we do that, now that you know Sessions is a focus with up to 3 topics, today's focus is expectations. And we have 3 topics here because obviously you don't have workflows. Well, you do have workflows, you have processes, but are you how can I explain expectations to you in a way that would make sense to you? Because I don't know, unless you and I have a session, which that's part of this. There's 3 steps here at the Creative Tech. You want to align with the tribe. That's tribe.creativetech.ai. You want to fill out the form, get a line. So align.creativetech.ai. That's step number 2. Then you want to go to sessions.creativetech.ai, because that's where you get to schedule your session. So once you join the team, join the tribe, and we're a tribe because it's about making the tribe better, not give for that take mentality, which is capitalism. And I'm not a socialist by any means. Like, don't take this wrong. All I'm saying is that the mentality of a tribe, if we're all hunters and we have a spear maker and this person's capable of hunting and needs a spear, we're not going to rely on that person to have to go work to earn money to do that spear. They're part of the tribe. They're capable. The spear maker is going to get, it's to make the tribe better. You give to make the tribe better. And that's the mentality that I want here at the Creative Tech. So as we get more people aligned with the Creative Tech and likes the anchors and using objectives and matters, just everything that we're building here, it's kind of beautiful, I think. And you have expectations for the show, for yourself, for the brands you associate with. There's expectations everywhere. And unspoken expectations is resentment waiting to happen. That is that like, think about that. If you have expectations with somebody, you don't clearly articulate those expectations. If you're not consistent, how do you expect people to commit or align with your expectations if you're not able to communicate that? Because what happens is that you're expecting something, you didn't communicate with them. What happened wasn't what you expected. What makes people upset? What's the one thing that really gets people bent out of shape? You get in your car, you try to turn the key, it doesn't turn on. You're driving down the road, someone cuts you off. Wasn't expecting that. You didn't set the expectation. They didn't give you the expectation. They didn't communicate with you with their turn signal and give you plenty of space. They just cut you off. They may have a great reason. Their wife is pregnant and they're trying to get to the hospital and you're driving like a slow fucker. So they had to pass you in the berm and they're trying to get around you. And now you're pissed because you think it's road rage. And now you're following them, trying to wreck them. And he's trying to get the hospital. There's just certain things that happen with expectations when they're not given. In some situations, you can't give expectations. People just get in your way and they're going to get upset because you might be trying to do something and you've just done something that somebody else wasn't expecting. You get the gist, I hope. If you don't, there may be a few other channels you need to watch before you come here, which is fine. And I know I'm not for everybody because I am a little bit of an asshole. And what did we talk about today? I may even be a little bit of a Madonna. I like things to be a certain way. If you would have talked to me 10 years ago, definitely Madonna, definitely asshole. There is something that happens when you get older. Unlike myself, as a child, I didn't have what was expected. I didn't have that family bond with parents that were truly trying to teach me to be an independent individual. In fact, I was more of a punching bag and something in somebody's way than I was anything else. And I don't mean a physical punching bag. I don't want to misdrew things. My stepdad, Butch, when he finally got into my life when I was 8 years old, great man, loved him to death. We got in a few rumbles when I was a late teenager. He threw me to the ground a couple times to let me know I was still the punk and he's the man. But I love that man. God, he taught me work ethic and everything else. He struggled along with me. Anyway, we're going to get into semantics, and this isn't a life. This isn't about life. It's not about my life anyway. I'm happy to share my perspective on my life, and I'm sure people won't agree with it. I'm not saying my childhood was horrible. There was definitely people that had it worse than me, but there by no stretch of the imagination was my childhood fucking peachy. So, 3 topics today: clarity, consistency, commitment. We have to be clear. That's why. Expectations are so important. Why is expectation so important? Because it gives us clarity. It lets us know what we need to do and sets the right expectations, sets the boundaries to ensure that expectations are being met, or if they're not being met, we can clearly articulate that and find the reason for it. Is the person being a jerk and just doesn't want to do it? That could be. And you need to change your approach to that. Or Are they struggling to keep up with your expectations? Are they realistic? So we'll get into clarity and all that stuff, but really, expectations is the main point of the show. We're 20 minutes into it, so we should go ahead and jump into topic number 1, clarity. Great segue. And just a quick catch up here. Midwest Con is coming up September 4th, 5th, and 6th. Future of Data Hackathon starts on August 24th. Now, this week I don't have anything to share with you or anything, of significance to share with you. But what I will tell you is that I've been observing this team now for 3 going on 4 weeks. I've been trying to help out where I can, but I don't have access to anything. They've given me access to certain things, and they're very busy all over the place. And in today's meeting, I asked for access to the actual shared folder instead of just giving me these individual files, because I'm not getting enough data, and you guys keep talking about things that are not in my access currently. So I even sent a message to the main point of contact and his assistant while we were in the middle, while they were talking, because I said like 4 times in the meeting, like, will you please share that shared folder with me so that way I can help? I can't follow along in this meeting because I don't have it yet. Oh, we'll get it to you after the meeting. So I DM'd both of them in Slack and said, I need this now. And while we're using Slack and not Teams, that's a different story. But again, this is their venture. I'm helping, so I'm not forcing them into a 365 tenant or anything like that. In fact, I want them to want the 365 tenant on their own. So that's why I'm kind of sitting back and waiting. And that's the magic of today's story, and we'll get to that. But, I set very clear expectations with him. I'm a conductor. I'm good at seeing all the pieces playing together and bringing that all together, simplifying it and keeping structure together, keeping the rules together, and helping us all know what to expect. That's my first superpower. Second thing that I'd like to help out with this event is that I have a production company. We're specializing in highlighting businesses and nonprofits and how they support the community or the businesses they serve. So I want to, definitely be a resource to capture assets. Now I have a few people I have helped me. One nice young lady, Kim Amlung, I'm going to say her name wrong. Kim's awesome, and I'm hoping that she's willing to help September 4th, 5th, and 6th. Will Story, which he was on the first episode, and I think maybe 1 or 2 other episodes. He is hopefully going to help videographer the whole thing. He better, or there's going to be some friction in our relationship. I love him. I know he's very busy. But I have a feeling he hasn't marked these dates off in the calendar, and he's going to wait till it gets too close. He's like, well, I didn't say. And I guarantee you, like, everything that I've ever helped him with, he didn't send me shit. So if he's going to expect that from me, like, I'm just saying it could create friction. So you got to be patient and calm and make sure you set expectations. I need to get hold of Will and say, hey, Will, did you actually put this on your calendar? I don't want it to get close to time. And then you say, well, you didn't send me this and that. Because I've worked on projects with you, and I know I didn't get things like that, not to that level. I've already given you more than what I've received for working with you. So please don't use it as I didn't do something, because that will show a part of your character. Like, I don't think you would do that. Let's just wait to see what happens before we go start getting bent out of shape, right? But my expectation is that he's going to help me with this. Cole Chase, it would be nice if he would help me out with this. Not that he owes me or anything, but these are crew members that I know would help me if they had time. And I'm hoping, because this is during a work week, they can make time. What does it mean to be clear? Why is clarity so important to the creative tech and everything? Like this event coming up, there's ambassadors, there's committees, there's volunteers, there's speakers, there's sponsors, there's partners, there's the internal side of it, everybody on the inside of it helping make it happen. The people that'll be walking, the people behind the curtain. That's the way I break down anything is you start from the core. What is it? The event is Midwest Con. What is it highlighting? Well, we have a hackathon with $25,000 in prizes that is happening. And there's a buildup where people can start working on the hackathon on the 24th. things are due. Don't hold me to this. I believe on September 3rd or 4th. That's when. No, September 3rd by midnight. I think is when everything's due. And then in the background on September 4th, they're going to look through the background and choose a team. And then the top percentage, the top 20%, I believe, is going to present demo their. They get to showcase their product, their hackathon, whatever it is. And then and Dave, the last day, we announce a winner and yada yada yada. But part of this whole hackathon and this competition, there's a number of keynotes. There's 3 days of keynotes, panels, workshops, what we're calling special. I can't remember what they called it now. I have it in a list and I can pull it up, but I'm not worried about it right now. What I am worried about, though, is I hope the audio sounds good because I think I fixed it in a previous stream, which is awesome. So I hope this sounds good. Because that's another part of clarity, right? God, I really did not get here until 1:05. I started the show at like 1:03, and I was running around while the music was playing, saying starting shortly, just trying to get prepared. Just letting you know, I let time get away from me. And the guys that I was working with, the team that was there, I think a few of them were students, and then the guy throwing the thing. It's kind of funny because I was like, oh, I gotta get to my show. It starts at 1. Crap. And they're like, oh yeah, you got a show? And like, I could tell they thought maybe it was pretty yeah, there's nobody watching this. But the way I acted, they're probably thinking, well, this must be a pretty important show. How important is this to me for me to have to do this? My wife and I, we're going up north to see some friends today, but I said, well, I can't leave until after 2. That's going to cut some of our time with our friends. We could be spending more time with them, but why is this show so important to me? The expectation is if I'm consistent with it, religiously consistent with it, and I do something to improve it every single week, which mic audio cleanup, a few changes to how we come up with the focus and topics, we have made improvements here. So the expectation of do the show consistently, show improvement, and do that consistently, that's what's important, not the people watching. My expectation is that if I stick to this, there will be a delta. And if I stick to that, we'll get somewhere. Are you starting to see the picture why expectations are so important? Expectations for yourself, expectations for others. When I said, oh my God, I'm running late for my show, I got to go. They didn't go, oh, do you really have to go? They were like, oh man, we're so sorry. Yeah, get out of here. Go. Anything we can do. Do you want to do it here or whatever? I do want to do it from the Innovation Hub. And I think I may take, I paid $150 a month for a desk there. I would never go there. I don't think. I don't know. But what I do know is that being clear is why it's so important. You need clarity. When I was working with this team, we were going over the final agenda because we got to get the agenda for this event, 4th, 5th, and 6th, the final agenda, the keynotes, the speakers, where everybody's going to be. We have 2 stages, the primary stage, the secondary stage. We have, I think, 7 rooms and 3 common areas because there's 3 floors with big spaces. And I said, hey, listen, there's no clarity here as far as the rooms. Do you guys have a list of the rooms? I believe there was 2 lists of the rooms. The list that was on the document, the list that was in a spreadsheet. And they were pretty close, but they didn't all exactly line up. Setting proper expectations means having your data right. If you have one place for these core data points, it's when everybody's got siloed data. Basically, what I have is a fragmented team, fragmented resources. My superpower is playing conductor and bringing everybody together and seeing the data cleanly. So I created an app. They had a Google Calendar. I exported that Google Calendar. I took that calendar into AI and I said, hey, AI, make me a list that has the event name, the start time, and the end time. Just a spreadsheet that has that information into it. Give me a CVS with that into it. and it spit it out right away. I compared it against the Google Doc, and I'm like, sweet. Threw that into a list on Microsoft SharePoint, tweaked it a little bit, created a few views. That gives me a calendar view of it. That gives me a list view. And when we were in that meeting today, they were going based off the calendar, the Google Calendar, and they were looking at the Google Calendar and they were going through it every day by day. Just they said they were going to get this schedule done today. We're going to finish the schedule today, and they were halfway through the fourth, and we were a good hour into it. And I'm like, and I was watching them and I was listening, and I'm like, they are all over the place and they're working on 4 things at once instead of just being focused and getting each piece of this done and getting it done right. I had to stand up and say, hey, everybody, I'm sorry. I got to be a prima donna for a second. I'm going to stand here and I want to help, but I can't work like this. It got to the point where I was about ripping my hair out. And I was like, guys, listen, give me 2 minutes to show this to you and explain to you what I'm trying to do. And if you guys agree with it, I think it'll help us get things done. So essentially what I did is I said, hey, here's a clean view of the events, item by item. I have 19 events for day 1. The leader has 17. The assistant has 15. I said, there's a discrepancy here. Now, my list I pulled from something else, and it may not be accurate. So I do apologize. I'm not using one of your resources. I'm just trying to get a clean, solid one. And I was told that calendar was the one. And I'm hearing everybody has different numbers. So here's what I'd like to do. Let's have that one list. And let's just get this column done first. And then the second column. Then the third column. And when we get all these columns done, we have our list done. Then we can go through it and do what you're trying to do, and we'll be able to do it and see everything clearly, because the way they had it on the calendar view and everything was overlapped, and you had to go to this document to see these details and who's the speakers for that over here. And I was like, no, we need one thing, and we need to be able to manipulate that data to give us this view or that view or change it up this way. And then basically we're building an app to manage and strategize and come up with the end game agenda for the event. I told them that consistency is key. You have to be able to come to a single point, see what you're working on, and build from there, because at some point we're going to end this meeting. And hopefully we have the agenda done for what we need enough for this meeting, but there's going to be more talks after this. We're going to go work on something else. If we were looking at the same thing and working from it as we went and then left, came back to it, picked up where we were easily, because now it's not spread out everywhere. We can see where we left off. I'm just saying beautiful things happen. So I came up with this analogy on the spot today, and I used it 3 times after the fact because it was just me and the main person at first. I gave them this analogy and they really liked it. And I was kind of surprised that I came up with it off the top of my head as well. But here, I'm going to lay it out for you. You tell me what you think. When you're playing soccer with your friends, let's say you're playing in a backyard that has, it's not exactly flat, right? Maybe it's at a little bit of a slant, but it's the flattest piece of land that you can find to play a good game of soccer that has the biggest area. And we're going to grab this stick to use for the out of bounds over here. We're going to use the corner of the house for the goal. And over here, that tree back there, if you get it past that tree, that's a goal. Now, what I'm saying is if your playground looks like that and your friends and you are going to play a solid game, because that's what business is. It's an infinite game. There's no winners or losers at the end. It's an experience for everybody. And the best thing we can do is just make sure it's clear experience, because it's going to happen again next year and the year after that. And success is having a great experience and being able to plan and get through and fulfill everything that we planned on to the most that we can. Not everything's going to go smooth. Not everything's going to go perfect. Staying positive and getting through it the best you can is what is important. So if that's the goal, is to play a nice game of soccer / event, playing the game the way you're playing it can be very fun. It's raw, and it's you can almost make up the rules as you go. but that could work against you as well. So now let's change the game field up, and let's actually have bleachers where people can sit and see you, and the lines are perfectly cut out. There's no wobbliness to the field. It's just a solid foundation with structure to where you can play the game and not focus on, oh, that wasn't out of bounds. No, that stick, somebody moved the stick. When the lines are painted on the grass, you're not moving that. Like that's solid. That's structure. That's foundation, which is what the MTP is, right? So all we're trying to do is give you a better playing field so that way you can do your business better. That way, when you got to solve a problem, you can quickly solve it. When you got to kick a penalty, the markings and things are going to be consistent and fair. The game's clear. The game is consistent because the field provides you the foundation to make it so. You haven't guessed yet. We are now segueing in from clarity into consistency. And you can't be consistent if your field isn't right. So that was a stupid analogy I came up with today. That was a little bit more thoughtful. I'm going to work on it a little bit, but really that it does paint the picture of what the MTP does. It's not that we're trying to tell you, you already know the rules. There's goals, there's out of bounds, there's, can't trip people. These are standard rules of business. And we're not trying to tell you what rules to implement. We're telling you to be clear with your expectations, especially if you want it to align with your brand. I hope that makes sense. How are we doing on time here? We have 20 minutes left, 2 topics. We haven't talked about the firm, so I'm over time. That tells me I am rambling too much. And again, I have a good show structured here. We're talking about expectations. This is a very big topic for today. So, commitment. I'm not going to talk too much about consistency. I think that's pretty self-relevant. I think I've talked about it for the last few minutes already. That having the consistent foundation will help you set clear expectations, I guess is where I'm trying to wrap this up. Did I mention, I know I haven't mentioned it in this episode, but we're going to take a second to talk about the show. And I want you to know this show is raw. It's pretty bad, actually. I'm completely aware of that. The purpose of the show is to show that without any structure at all, I just knew I needed I know I wanted to help individuals. I know sessions was a way to do it. I didn't know what that frame worked. I knew we was going to use focus and topics somehow. I didn't know how. But it was early enough into the phase that I need to start now. I have a lot of clients say, well, hey, we'll start with the MTP when we're ready. We got to get our strategy and figure out a few things before we start. And to me, it's like saying, I will start training for my sport after the team drafts me. The MTP is something that you can start practicing today. It's the field you're playing on. It's the approach to your work. So I knew we were going to do something with YouTube and we needed structure, this and that. I also knew that whatever we did is going to take time for us to get there. That's why we're not starting with Icora first. There's some Icora branding. You got the big old white logo up there. But that's just part of my identity. I'm always representing Icora. And I got to think about that too, because I get on here and I'll hit my vape. I'll take a Suboxone or something like that right here. And at first I was thinking to myself, don't do that and ruin your brand, Icora, Joseph. I also started thinking, well, don't be authentic, Joseph. Elon Musk is authentic in himself. He has so many haters. And when he smoked weed, his stock dropped. But he stayed true to himself and doesn't give a fuck. And things balance out after the fact. I don't want to wait. I want to grow being myself and not freak people out. And I don't know, maybe Elon Musk, that was his first time smoking. I don't know. I don't know if that would be ideal. I might take stock away if that was his first time smoking, but if he normally did it and then he did that, would you take your stocks away knowing that he normally does that? Or would you only do that because you just found out about it? Or he just did it in a way that made everybody pissed. You were fine because you knew he did it before, but now he's doing it in the public, so now it's not okay because it's almost like he's like, what is your reason for not wanting to work with Elon Musk because he smoked weed on the Joe Rogan podcast? I don't know. And if we're doing a big migration or something and I'm completely baked out of my mind, let me know if you ever see that, because I'm always business ready. Even if I microdose, I never get blasted. I don't know. I can't say that. Sometimes on a weekend or something, I may indulge a little bit, but no, it's not. I don't drink. Yeah, I have a very addictive personality, something I've struggled with all my life, and here we're going on another tangent because I'm concerned about what people think about the shit I do on the show. Anyway, I knew I needed to do something. I needed to start soon. I didn't want to start with Ikora. But the more I do this, the more I learn that I want to be authentic. So I guess that's part of it. I guess we are talking about the show. Where I get excited is in what the show's about. It's about showing others that if you have a good idea, you just start working on it an hour at a time, you will see, and especially if you're tracking your progress and you're consistently improving, from episode 1, episode 10, you should see a delta. From episode 1 to episode 20, you should see even more of a delta. Episode 1 to episode 50, you should start seeing some traction. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. But if I stay true to myself and I commit to what I'm doing and my authenticity, will we prevail? Yes, 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 yes. So today, while I was in this meeting and everybody was, I literally stopped and said, I can't do this. And I said, I need you guys to listen to me for a few minutes. And I did. I took 20 minutes and got them to do what I wanted them to do. And at the end of the 20 minutes, I said, I hope that wasn't a waste of time. It was valuable for me to build out and be able to see this, but I hope you guys see this being a valuable tool for you. And then for the next hour or whatever, they were like, yes, let's get it in there. And the more we did it, I start seeing them innovate. You start seeing them popping off ideas and, oh, that will help us get this done. And by the time I left, they now have all the data for the agenda on a single page. And they can manipulate the data. And all of them can go to the site. You don't share it on a screen and have one person doing it. They all can go in there because they're all working on different things and they can be updating it in real time. You could almost feel the heat from the light bulb that went off from all of them and just seeing the innovation going. Like when I looked at my watch, said it was 2:30 and I was like, or 12:30, I got to go. Like, then I had to finish up a couple things before I could even walk out the door. So I didn't get out there until 12:35. It takes me 30 minutes to get home. So I was here by 1, which means I was speeding. And then, all that good fun stuff. And as I was walking out of there, I kind of thought to myself about the show and the 3 topics. I'm like, God, I got to start thinking about that. I'm going to get on the show and everybody's going to see how sloppy I am. But no, just be authentic and just tell them what's going on and get your hour session out. Again, these are turning into an hour session where I'm talking to people about a certain focus and topics. I'm letting them know where we are on the show and letting them know what's going on currently with everything going on at the Creative Tech, Rigid 6, and Ikora. It's evolving. It's getting better. The show itself, we have the focus and the 3 topics. We're going to make sure we hit those. We have the portion of the show where we talk about the community and what we're doing and how all this is going on. A year from now, I hope we're talking about the next Midwest Con, and how last year we made a great impression. I remember that meeting, and we had that episode 21, or what episode is this, by the way? I meant to look that up earlier and I forgot. 21 it is. My God, 21 weeks. Now, I know there was a 2-week hiatus there, so that's 23 weeks I've done this, minus the 2 hiatus days. That is wild. That's almost 6 months. 5 more episodes, well, 4 more episodes. We're going to be at the halfway mark. We've done this for 5 months. Let me share my screen real quick. I got to move on. We only got a little bit of time left, so we got to talk about commitment here. Where's my... Oh, yeah, that's what I'm being stupid. All right. What is going on? Come here, you. Oh, it looks like we did not add our thumbnail, which we need that in here. That was last week's. Look how small the influence and empowerment visibility. I should have brought the person down way lower, made that box way bigger. Hindsight's always 2020, right? Right. Today is the 10th. Which one is our thumbnail? Uh-oh. Why is this? I don't get it. Whatever. There she is. Love it. Yeah. These are all of our thumbnails so far. I don't know why we have different aspect ratios. I don't like that. But these two are smaller or something. That could be due to the... Yeah, they look different sizes. Consistency is key, right? And I would expect these all to be the same size, but they're not. So expectations are not being met. Yep. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well. What in the hell is this board view? I don't know about this. Gallery view. Shows. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you can see from down here, episode 1, no structure, not even a descriptor. Then we got our standard descriptors here. If we edit this in grid view, you can see even on our descriptors when we first started getting them. Let's get down here to the bottom. And all these empty ones, these are shows yet to happen. Like these are potential focuses or topics. And here you have the very first show. You know, we had 3 guests, myself, the host, and 2 guests, I should say. This was our first live show. We covered a lot, but not a lot of structure. At some point, I realized I needed to start tracking shows. I think I was like 5 shows into it when I created this list. But we got the folder here. So everything has a folder to go. Click here. It takes you to the folder for that show. All kinds of cool little things. And as we continue to go, like you can see here on episode 5, we have our first descriptor. And it followed this structure, this overview of the focus, the 3 topics, and then keep it heavy, keep it real, basically. That's it. We keep that going for a few episodes. So this episode, you could tell we were behind. And that's another thing is once you start tracking this, you get to the data shows you where, we had a hiccup here, or look, there's a gap here there's like 3 weeks between shows here. Like, what would cause that? Like, being able to see your data all on a single page, like it helps you do things. So the shows, everything's going well here. We're getting involved with other groups and events and networking. I've missed Cincy AI Week twice in a row. The first time I totally didn't get it on my calendar. The second time, had the ticket, expected to talk, super happy to go. Then life happens. There was a bunch of matters that I had to tend to on that day and could not get to the event. So I'm crushed. Sorry, Helen. Sorry, Kendra. And Kendra, we need to get together soon. It's been forever. I miss you. But yeah. Ugh. Why am I doing any of this? I asked myself that, but when I was walking out of UC today and realized, I told everybody, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I really want to help, and I feel this is painful. And I know you guys are trying to get this done, but this isn't a way to approach. This is not a way to approach work. There's a better way to approach this. And I feel like I have the framework for that here. Can we please do this? And like I said, by the time I was leaving, just seeing them all excited, seeing the innovation. In fact, I kind of want to go take a look. I can't show you guys this because this is not my information, but let me go see if, because they're working out of my tenant, that schedule. Well, actually, you know what? Go to files. Love it. Yeah, they even added a lookup column. So these kids are smart. They're figuring it out on their own. This is awesome. Yeah. So As I was walking out and coming here, my commitment to the MTP is more than ever stronger. My expectations with my team is that I am not changing my approach to work. This is how I work now. If you want help from Joseph Sunderman, it has to be done through objectives and matters. If you don't have an objective pipeline, let's get one set up for you. If you don't know what that means, stick around. We're building this ship. It's going to take off. We're looking for band members. And in this current season we're in right now, we're welcoming everybody in and we're giving free shit away while we can because we're excited to get everybody involved. We adoption, awareness. We want people to know that we exist. They may not be ready for us now. They may not even know they need us. But if they know we exist and how we're solving problems as they move forward with life, they're going to start realizing, oh my God, I am having all these problems. They pointed out some things to me that I didn't realize. I actually do want to work with them to some capacity. And I don't care who you are, where you are, and what you're doing in work, whether you have 100 employees that talk to you and each one of them have 100 employees underneath them, or it's just you and your two employees, we're going to come in here and help you become a modern workforce. Whether it's 3 of you or 300, we're going to teach you the skill sets to use your tech stack properly and your identity, both internal and externally. You will never be more polished in your life. That's if we stick to the script and allow the MTP to give us what we need, which is that feeling that we're playing on a professional stadium as opposed to our backyard with sticks as bases and shit. But you know what I really want? I want to get guests on the show. I want to have things show up on the screen, but to do that live, you have to have all the overlays and you have to stick to your structure and your agenda and make sure they pop up. Like for our topic, for clarity, I wanted to have a few bullet points to make sure I hit those bullet points. It's all in the notes and in the agenda stuff on the background, but wouldn't it be cool as I'm talking about it on the right hand side of the screen, just bloop, 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 bloop. This is the things we're going to talk about today, blah, 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 blah. You know, our cute little overlay that I was showing you all earlier, that's fun too. We want that to be out there for everybody. We can just like throw that on anytime. Bloop, 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 bloop. Did I even share my screen? I didn't, did I? I meant to share Mr. Winston Pie here. I want everybody to say hello to Winston. Winston is upstairs right now. I can hear him running around being a goofball. That's our baby. I sleep. I could use some sleep. Show needs a lot of improvement. I'm excited about where things are going. My commitment to the MTP, setting expectations properly. It's just things I'm doing right now. Trying not to be a jerk about things, like staying calm and keeping my composure. People, I expected if I broke things down for you and gave you it in this way that you would be more understanding or whatever my bullshit thought process has. No. The best thing for you to do is to control what's within your control, lead by example, and if you're going to work with somebody, set expectations with them. Practical, realistic expectations. They may not like your expectations at first, but if they're healthy for you and you're willing to commit to them regardless of the relationship, sometimes that's what has to happen. And I've been there multiple times. Preferably not to be doing something like that with a life partner, but business partners and things of that nature. Life partners is almost even more serious and important, and but take even more care and empathy when you do it. My wife and I know life isn't about changing who you are to be with somebody else or not having baggage. That person does not exist. It's about finding somebody that will accept you for you and unpack their baggage along with you, and you'll still accept them. It's not about finding somebody that's perfect. We're all connected due to our combined imperfections. I really believe these things. So for me, being aware of these things, setting proper expectations, staying authentic and true to yourself. When I say keep it real and keep it heavy, I mean keep it fucking real, people. And I'm always heavy. I'm always like, not always. I like to have fun. I like to goof off. But yeah, what the buttons are all over the place. But I know I started a few minutes late today. This says we have 3 minutes left. We're not quite to an hour yet. I have absolutely zero viewers going on right now, which is expected. I'm getting ready to get in the car with the wife and head up north. She's going to drive. I'm going to get some work done, and I'm going to enjoy my Saturday. I hope you enjoy your Saturday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be here next Saturday. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You know the 3 steps, and if you don't know the 3 steps, you're going to head on over to tribe.creativetech.ai. We want you to join the tribe. Right now, we're not making a big push for it. We only have 30 members on the Facebook, and we're not posting to Facebook right now, but we do want you to join. We're building up for it. And then second step is going to be to align. We have a form. We do want people to start filling that out. So if you can just go to that and do step 2 right now, that'd be huge for me. But again, I guess that's some of your information. And we don't share your information. But yeah, go to align.creativetech.ai. Fill out that form. It's not short, but if you're the more authentic you are, the more thorough you are with it, and provide us with as much as you can, the better we will be aligned with you, and the more we can help you with sessions. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm about to pass out. All right. Let's get out of our fields. Let's have a good day. And remember to always keep it heavy, keep it real. Peace.